Harriet Wistrich is a solicitor specialising in violence against women. She's also founder and director of the Centre for Women's Justice, with us now. Hi, it's good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Had the Minister on, as Justice Secretary, earlier on today. He said great strides have been made.
Well, I mean, there are some strides. You know, we have to say it's good that there's some progress being made, and we're particularly welcoming the rolling out of the national operating model, which is known as Operation Soteria, which is a model that should have been there all along. It's about focusing the rape investigations on the suspect and really investigating the suspect rather than focusing it on investigating victim credibility. It's not rocket science, but it's something that should be happening, and there's a whole model with toolkits and all the rest of it now around that. In terms of the progress and the claims that we're now back to 2016 charging levels, I don't understand how the government put that across. The figures are going up, which is good, but we're still well below the 2016 figures in terms of charging. So I'm not quite sure how they've put those figures together. We're also still seeing some really appalling decisions being made by the police. So at Centre for Women's Justice, we work with frontline organisations who support survivors, and they refer cases where there's been a rejection. And we see some really poor decision-making with the usual rape myths and stereotypes, and a failure to ask for advice from the CPS. So that is an issue we're still seeing on the ground.
What's the successful level for prosecution for rape?
What is a successful level?
Yes, so what percentage of rape cases actually come to court and are then successfully prosecuted?
The figures at the moment, or at least from the December 2022 figures that we've seen, I think there are about under 3,000 figures that were rape allegations that were charged, of which so many are convicted. I think I'm not sure what the current rate of...
Percentages are low, though, aren't they?
But the percentage, I mean, that is from about 70 or 80,000 reports. So the percentages are still really, really low. And the importance really is to try and drive those figures up by more effective investigations. And we know that many rapists are successfully not being prosecuted, and that is sometimes because of very poor prosecutions, because of missing really crucial things, like somebody who's a repeat offender, failing to really link up those issues, and by concentrating far too much on victim credibility, which means that women are dropping out of the system because they can't face, having to disclose again and again and again, and not seeing progress with the investigation into the suspect.
A female police officer friend of mine tells me that a lot of women don't want to go to court because they just look at the figures and they think, why am I going to put myself through that?
Yeah, and it's a really understandable reaction. I mean, the whole experience of coming forward and making a rape allegation, going through what can be an incredibly long wait in which they have to disclose so much of their personal history, and they know they're going to be facing kind of really hard cross-examination, they're going to be questioned about their behaviour and all those sorts of things, and you think, well, why would I put myself through that? And that's a really, really good, good question. And what I know from the women that we've worked with is that they do it because they know they've been violated, and they don't want any other woman to be violated by this man, and that's why they do it. And everyone who goes forward and does it is doing it for courageous reasons, and they're doing it because they know that this person is dangerous and bad and has hurt them, and they don't want him to hurt somebody else.
Thank you for taking the time to join us, Harriet. Much appreciated. Thank you.